Three potentially brutal changes are coming to the Czech or EU immigration laws this year, 2023. Let me walk you through all of them. It will be fast, but it will be even more important. So at least to give you a heads up before the changes become effective, because they're not effective as of now, but they will be later this year, and they can change the immigration to the EU or to the Czech Republic specifically a lot. So first change, which is super important, is that there should be finally, I believe in November 2023, introduced like the whole Schengen like electronic system of checking the 90 days, like entries and exits and everything. Because as of now, if you're coming to Schengen as a foreigner, and especially foreigner from the countries which have the 90 days exception, meaning that you can come here without a visa for 90 days, which applies to Americans, Australians, Canadians, Mexicans, and some other nationalities. So the only way of saying when you entered the Schengen area and when you left is according to the stamps in your passport. There is no like electronic system which would be shared by the whole Schengen area. So you can basically say, if you don't get stamped on the border, you can say, hey, I arrived yesterday, even though you arrived like 3 months ago, and no one's gonna find out, because the only way to say or to tell is based on the stamps. This will change, and now everything will be stored and checked electronically. So even if you overstay for one day, one night, it will be immediately visible in the system. So that basically means that overstaying is no longer possible, and that anyone who overstays even like a 1 hour can have big trouble entering the country or the whole Schengen area later on. So this will be a huge problem, or become a huge like problem for many nationalities. And yeah, we'll see where this ends up. Second brutal change is concerned only like in the Czech immigration, and that is that some nationalities, or in general most nationalities, can only apply for Czech visas and Czech residence permits from the country of origin. So if you're an Indian, you can only apply for a Czech visa in India, through the Czech embassy in India. But many nationalities, mostly the same as have the 90 days exception, can apply through any Czech embassy in the world. So if you're an American and you want to get a Czech visa, then you don't have to apply only in the US. You can apply here in Berlin or in Warsaw or Vienna, or you can apply in Asia or in Africa, wherever you want, as long as the embassy accepts visa applications. The change here is that most of the embassies in the EU which are accepting visa applications will be closed later this year, and this is I believe effective from May. And there will be only one visa center in Dresden in Germany. So first of all, let me thank for this information to one of my Filipino competitors, like here on YouTube, because she pointed it out. I know that it's been discussed and they were thinking about it for some time, but I didn't know that it already became like set. So it is, which means that instead of being able to apply in Berlin, in Vienna, in Warsaw, in Brussels, wherever, there will be only one spot where you can apply in Europe. So on one hand, it can potentially be good if they work efficiently. So there will be one place, it's very close to the Czech Republic, Germany, you just cross the border, you're there in 3 hours. So potentially it might be a good change, but it depends on how well it will be handled and how many appointments will be available there. Because now there are like 5 embassies within the EU accepting visa applications, so they can handle like hundreds of applications every month. If they now reduce it to one spot or one place, will they increase the capacity or will they decrease the capacity? If they decrease the capacity, that will even more limit the number of people who can apply for the visas inside of the EU and who will be here using the 90 days and applying during the 90 days. Because if you cannot overstay the 90 days by 1 day and you only have one place to apply, the chances that you will make it in time can decrease very significantly. So this is the second brutal change, potentially, because we don't know Maybe there will be so many available appointments that you decide to go to the embassy today and you can go tomorrow. In that case, that might actually be a good change. But for some reason, I don't believe that. So let's see. Maybe I'll be surprised and like in a positive way and it will be good, but we'll see. And the third thing is that this year, the Czech immigration law should be changing again because it changes every 2 years and now is the second year. Sorry, my throat is sore. And the Czech immigration law changes always bring 3 types of changes. Changes which kind of make sense, that they improve something, which is good, and they're always included in the law. So in every change of the law, every 2 years, there is something which actually makes sense and makes it better for foreigners or for us as relocation agencies, or for someone like from the greater good point of view. Then there are things which are like very bad, which change some stupid things in a stupid way. It just complicates lives of everyone. Besides probably the person who is the one responsible for the change, and now he says or she says, yes, I made this happen. I put this into the law, and now they're proud of themselves. But for anyone else, these are like stupid changes or like bad changes, and that's always there as well. And then there is something which just no one understands why it's there, but it's just there. So it's like something good, something bad, and something like stupid and like outrageous and like just like mind-blowing in the way that you just don't understand what happened, like how high the person was when they offered where they offered to put this into the law, and how high the people who approved that had to be to approve it. So these potentially, again, 3 different outcomes or parts of the law is something we could expect this time or this year as well, because the immigration law will be changing. And I've heard of some changes that should be there, and some of them are very, very stupid as well. That, for example, there was one thing which I remembered saying that people going to the ministry could not come with representatives, which means that we, as a visa advising company, for example, could not go with you to the ministry. You would have to go yourself, which will mean that no one will speak with you there, because if you've been to the ministry, you know how it works there. So you need to be very lucky to get someone who speaks English and who's willing to explain things to you in English. So you will go there and no one will deal with you. Second thing is that they will try to explain something to you, but they put it in the way that you will not know what to do, because you don't have the experience with the immigration process and you don't exactly know what they mean. So it will end up in way more like denials and many other problems. But the ministry will, I don't know what's the point, that they explained it somehow. But that's just like a stupid execution of maybe potentially somewhere in some way a good idea. So I expect at least this, but there are many more changes, potential changes. So let's see, let's keep an eye out for this, and let's see where it brings us. Since we started 11 years ago, it's only getting more and more complicated to get a visa for the Czech Republic. And all these changes, even though there are some good changes, as I said, but those are mainly like process type of changes, like you can mail the application via post instead of going there in person. So this kind of like a small adjustments, which are good in real life, don't understand me in the wrong way. I appreciate this, and the fact that you can now check application online, kind of, that wasn't possible even like 3 years ago or something. So it's very good changes. On the other hand, then the ministry always sneaks something like really stupid and something very bad for people into the law as well. So let's see what happens this year, but definitely it will be a good or big change for everyone. So let's see what happens. Let me know what you think in the comments, if you've heard some rumors as well, or if you know some concrete information. And let's stick together and let's find a solution for whatever this year throws our way.